The San Andreas Fault, a scar across the landscape of California. It stretches over 800 miles, a visible reminder of the immense forces shaping our planet. This fault is no minor crack in the Earth, it's a continental divide, the meeting point of two colossal tectonic plates, the Pacific Plate and the North American Plate. Imagine these plates as giant rafts drifting on the Earth's molten interior. They grind against each other, their edges locked in a relentless struggle. The pressure builds, century after century. The San Andreas Fault is the breaking point. This fault isn't a single crack but a complex system of fractures. It snakes its way through California, from the Salton Sea in the south to Cape Mendocino in the north. Millions live along its path, their lives intertwined with the ticking clock of seismic activity. Each day the plates inch closer, building up unimaginable stress. The question isn't if the fault will unleash a major earthquake, but when. Seismologists speak of the big one, a massive earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8 or greater. They predict it will strike along the San Andreas Fault, and when it does, the consequences will be catastrophic. We are living on borrowed time. The last big one to hit Southern California occurred in 1857. The San Francisco Bay Area experienced its last major earthquake in 1906, a magnitude 7.9 temblor that devastated the city. History tells us that these events are not random, they are cyclical. The Earth is storing energy, preparing for the next inevitable release. The longer the wait, the more powerful the earthquake will be. The accumulated stress along the fault line is like a tightly wound spring waiting to snap. And when it does, the Earth will shudder with a force that can level cities. Imagine the ground beneath you starts to shake violently. Buildings sway, windows shatter, and the Earth seems to ripple like waves on the ocean. This is the reality of the big one. Los Angeles, a sprawling metropolis built on shaky ground, would face widespread destruction. Buildings not built to withstand such a powerful earthquake would crumble. Highways, the arteries of the city, would buckle and collapse, trapping people in their cars. The iconic Hollywood sign, a symbol of hope and dreams, could come crashing down. San Francisco, perched on the edge of the continent, would fare no better. The Golden Gate Bridge, an engineering marvel, could sway violently or even collapse. Historic neighborhoods with their charming Victorian homes would be reduced to rubble. The tech hub of Silicon Valley would be crippled, its servers and data centers offline. Section 4. The Aftermath, a city in ruins. The initial earthquake would be just the beginning of the disaster. The aftershocks, some nearly as powerful as the first quake, would continue for days, weeks, or even months, hindering rescue efforts and causing further damage. Fires would erupt across the affected areas, fueled by ruptured gas lines and downed power lines. Water mains would break, leaving firefighters with no way to combat the inferno. Hospitals, already overwhelmed with casualties, would struggle to function without power or clean water. The economic impact would be staggering. Businesses would be destroyed, homes lost, and the infrastructure of entire cities would require years, if not decades, to rebuild. The human cost, both in lives lost and in the long-term trauma inflicted on survivors, would be immeasurable. Section 5. Preparing for the inevitable. We cannot prevent earthquakes, but we can prepare for them. We must acknowledge the reality of this threat and take steps to mitigate the potential damage. Individuals and families should create earthquake preparedness plans, including knowing safe spots in their homes, assembling emergency kits with food, water, and first aid supplies, and establishing communication plans with loved ones. Buildings should be retrofitted to withstand seismic activity. Infrastructure, such as bridges and highways, needs to be strengthened to withstand the violent shaking. The San Andreas Fault is a stark reminder of the power of nature. The big one is not a matter of if, but when. By accepting this inevitability and taking proactive steps to prepare, we can minimize the loss of life and begin the long road to recovery when the Earth inevitably trembles once again.